The Center for Gender Economics Africa initiative trained over 40 participants in the various ministries, departments, and agencies in the state. Speaking during a one-day training workshop on gender-responsive budget for budget officers from selected MDAs in Cross River State, the Executive Director of Issues of Gender-Responsive Budgeting for Gender-Based Violence and Mitigation. According to the organizer of the workshop, studies have shown that prevention is better than mitigation. Hence, the need for all government MDAs to make provision for budget that will at all times prevent violence against women, men, boys, and girls for a secure future.
To talk about gender-responsive budgeting for gender-based violence mitigation and prevention, because like we said, most of the interventions in the past have been done by donor funding, and like all of us agreed at the end of this training, it's not sustainable. The highest they can do is 4 years, 5 years, and sometimes most of the impact gets lost. So we need to make these costs, put them back in government budgets.
Mrs. Uche now further stressed that since donor agent programs are not sustainable due to its short period, there is need for government to start taking responsibility on tackling issues of gender-based violence. She advised MDAs to ensure that going forward, their budget should be more responsive in order to address all categories of persons' needs.
So I want to see that Ministry of Education is responding to GBV by their programming. Even if it's in schools, a lot of violence, gender-based violence is going on in secondary schools, primary schools. If they can begin to budget for that response and not wait for agencies, international agencies to do that. Same thing with Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Youth, Ministry of Works and Housing. Name any ministry, Ministry of Culture and Tourism, Ministry of Humanitarian Services.
In their separate remarks, participants thanked the organizer of the event, saying the event has helped broaden their understanding on gender-based violence issues, while promising to put in their knowledge gained from the workshop to practice in their different MDAs.
I think we are going back home to ensure that a policy framework is being drawn for gender issues in the state, and that will also help us to coordinate all the gender data so that once it is being asked, we'll be able to present when needed.
I will talk on behalf of the adults and non-formal education. When I came in newly, or when we started, I was beginning to ask myself, how does it relate with what I'm doing? But as we keep going,
services is across on maybe kind of response to emergencies, and we take care of the disabled, we take care of refugees, internally displaced persons. The gender should really be considered, making provision for every group, both men, women, boys, and girls.
Whatever we do here, we take them to our bosses. Who are our bosses? Politicians. So I'm thinking that is a way out. That if there could be a way that also they could be brought to see in this kind of environment, to be talked to, because they are the people we need. That's why you need to talk. Because they are the people who need to be told that they should be human beings like we are.
I'm going back with a different mindset. I've heard about gender before, gender-based violence, and gender-related issues. But being gender responsive in a different light.
But one of the things that we do there is policy drive and advocacy. And part of what we also do is domestic resource mobilization, not working in silos, but working hand in hand with ministries and some agencies to ensure that things like GBV.
We carried out a rally at we gave LGA based on this GBV. Okay. And terrible things happened while we were doing the rally. You see, women will come out crying, giving us stories of their life. And now, at a point, after all the audios, I've also had something that what we did there was right.
High point of the workshop was group photograph. Kerry Okwo, CRBC News.